The book we would be discussing today is Metamorphosis. The writer behind this story is Franz Kafka. Franz Kafka, born in 1883 in Prague, he was mainly a German speaking Jewish writer. By profession, he wasn't a writer, he would do writing in his private time. In daytime, he would do work like in an insurance company. Franz Kafka, if you talk about Franz Kafka, so Franz Kafka was mainly a person having anxiety, depression, and extreme loneliness and solitude. He has a very disastrous and despaired life. His relationship with his parents were also too much deteriorated, which can be seen in his other writings as well, and his in this writing as well. Like we can see in Letter to His Father or in the Metamorphosis book, these both things can be seen. He later died, and the death wish he had was that all of his writing should be destroyed, all of his writing should be burned. Now, a writer who is so much despaired and who is so much having depression that he doesn't want his art to be seen to the world. But we are lucky that we can find these books and we can read how Franz Kafka have wrote these phenomenal novels like The Metamorphosis. Now, the story Metamorphosis, it was mainly published in 1915. The story writes with Gregor Samsa. Gregor Samsa is the main character of this story, and all of the story moves around Gregor Samsa. The thing is that one morning when Gregor Samsa, he just woke up and he found out that he has become an insect. He has changed into an alien type of thing. The thing, if we can correctly elaborate, is a thing that is just like a cockroach having short legs. Now, if we can see in the story, the Gregor Samsa has the first thought that what would he do if he can't walk, he can't do any work because he has been alienated. And Franz Kafka in this story, he doesn't told us about the reason behind his change to be towards that cockroach type of creature. He just showed us that how when a person become alienated or a person become changed, and he isn't so much societal like societally he isn't acceptable, nor he is acceptable to his family. Now, when Gregor Samsa woke up, the first thought he had come to his mind is that what would he do financially? How his mother, how his father, and how his sister would have their life, because he was the lone person who would earn money. Gregor Samsa was by profession a salesman, but when he went outside to his boss or his family, he was really terrified. They were really terrified from his creature because he were having short legs. Now, one thing he explained in the start of the book is that if what would happen if I sleep a bit more and I could just like lost all of these bullshit from my mind, and I should have just some good sleep, and I should just de-alienate myself from these all things. Now, what's the Gregor Samsa and how Gregor Samsa acted and how the sister acted toward him? Now, the first thing is that Gregor Samsa alienated, but his father, his mother, and his sister were really changed. Their behaviors were changed. Gregor Samsa was from innate, he was a human being. He felt things because human being by nature or by psychologically and physiologically, they have need toward humans. But their parents and their family, they just threw them into room a room which was just locked up, and he was really in solitude, in loneliness. He roam around that room, and he would just go under bed, or he would just like he would go towards the portraits, behind those portraits, so he can't be seen. When his sister would visit him, he would just move around somewhere else so that she can't see her. Now, this was really a depressing story in a sense, is that because her sister also lost. In first, sister would give her something good to eat, but later on her sister also didn't wanted that the Gregor Samsa should eat something else, because he was a burden on his family. He was a burden on his sister as well, and they would just talk outside. They would just curse Gregor Samsa. But the thing is that he would hear it. He can't tell anything, but he would hear, and he would have that despair inside himself. He would have that depression inside himself. He would have that anxiety inside themselves, that how a person's life can be changed in just one morning time span. Like once he was really a main character of all of the people's story, but at the second day he was really nothing. He was just a burden on the whole family because he can't financially support them, because he isn't the way the society wants, the family wants, and the family is in need of that. Now, later on in the story, when Gregor Samsa, just some time passed on, the sister also threw him some of the rotten fruits, and he would eat them. He would just roam around, and that his room become a garbage room, become a storage room where everybody would just throw garbages and would throw the essential or the extra things in that room. Due to the financial constraint, their family also, like we can see in the story, that they also rented a room. They also give on rent a room, but they also have a mishap. Now, one night when the Gregor Samsa really felt upset when he heard her sister that we should just get rid of this Samsa. It's not Samsa anymore. He's a monster. We can't see that. That's not my brother anymore. And how can a person feel that if you just feel something that I am a main character of a story? I am just a person that everyone wanted, and now no one wants me. Not, nor my real blood relatives don't want me. And he just heard that, and what would be his emotional and his mental suffering, his psychological suffering. One other thing we can also analyze from this story is that the capitalist world, the more advanced and more progressive world, that when a person become unproductive, he isn't being treated like a human being. He is just treated like a garbage, a person which can't have anything else. He is a burden on the whole society. How this capital and how this money preaching world and how this money targeting world have just made this whole world a disaster. Now the modern man doesn't know how he can feel, how can he have emotions toward anyone else. If a person is ill, how can I just treat him well? The modern system have just made us a robot that chase money, that chase towards productivity, that chase towards efficiency, because everywhere efficiency and productivity is really like appreciated, is really greeted. Later on in this story, when Gregor Samsa just heard from his sister, they threw the Gregor Samsa outside of the door. And they just said that it's not Samsa anymore. It was a really cold night. It was really a depressing, cold night. It was winter, and Gregor Samsa was really weakened because he hadn't eaten anything else, because they would give him rotten food. And due to this illness and due to this really cold situation and his weakness, he eventually died. And his death was first seen by a cleaning lady which would come to their room. Now it's really disturbing when you see the story, the absurdity of their family relatives, that how they can have relief over a person which was a part of their family, which was a person that would earn them money, which would just give them the whole importance in this whole story, but they really didn't care, and they just have a sigh of relief. And they just they just thought about her sister name was Greety, and Greety future. And the father said their family, like their mother and sister, that let's go on a walk, let's have future, let's have thoughts about the future. Now this is really disturbing. Now the meaning of this story, the Metamorphosis story, main meaning is that how a person, when a person is alienated, how does he feels? A person's guilt, that he is a burden on his own parents and on his own society, and a person detached by the people. These are some things that is really mentally disturbing, really psychologically disturbing, and really it just creates some suffering issues and some isolations. Like a person become isolated when he is alienated, he is a little bit ill. Now, the powerful message, if you see the what Franz Kafka wanted to know, that give us, is that the powerful message that what makes us human mainly. The thing which makes us human, if we see by definition, what is a human? A human is something that have emotions, that can see things emotionally, that can give sympathy, that can give a true hand when a person is in need, and when a person is depressed, he can just give him a support. But in this story, the humans weren't human, because they can't support Gregor Samsa there. And Franz Kafka really illustrated this thing, that how Gregor Samsa felt lonely, how he became solitude, he turned into solitude, and how the whole family just alienated him, just sidelined him, and how they just acted him as dehumanized, and how they just treated him like a monster, a person that is before some time a person which gave financial support to the whole family. Now he is nothing for them. This was something that Franz Kafka really illustrated, and he also gave that how society treats you when you aren't productive, when you aren't efficient, when you don't want, like when you don't have the thing that modern mind have, an ambition. And when you can't act like a modern man, when you can't act like modern people, like how the modern societies works or how this progressive world works, then you aren't a human in this whole society, and no one would treat you in this society as human.